Hey, everyone out there in Facebook and Instagram. I just washed my hands. You know, you've got to do that, right? The 20 seconds, 20 minutes, just wash, wash, wash. Sing happy birthday, count to 20, nice and slow. Because don't you ever start doing it and suddenly you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you got to go it slow, slow. Hey, everybody, this is Marion, Mama Cheesecake here. Back on Wednesday, as I said I would be. I have several different things we're going to be doing. Well, actually, just one thing. I am going to roll out. I told you I was so excited about it yesterday. Guess what? Are you ready? Are you ready to hear this? I am actually going to be doing the Disney Parks Churro Bites. But because I have so many peeps out there, just lots of followers that are gluten-free, I decided I had to do gluten-free. So let's get going. We're going to be doing some gluten-free stuff. Let me do a couple of hellos. Hey, Gloria, how are you? You're out in Texas still, right? Arlene, hi. Evelyn, are you there? Hi. How's it going? All right, so we're going to get going.
Monique's on.
Hey, Monique, that's my princess there. And we're going to start off right away. This time, so that I don't end up forgetting something, I have my list all printed out for me nice and large. So we're going to start off by adding 1 cup of water. Here's the interesting thing. Actually, probably about, I want to say 2 years ago, I did a gluten-free churro. Monique, do you remember that? And I actually, when I did it, I loved it. So I was a little concerned because when I read this recipe, I wasn't really sure what it was going to do. I see some other people are jumping on. Hey, Rach, you're there from New Hampshire. Wait till you see what I have to dip this stuff in. It's going to remind you of our time in New York.
Acacia's on.
My cousin Albert is on. Hey, Acacia, how are you? So we're at Luce. Luce, mwah! Love you. I did remember something that I'm going to have to step out of line. Everybody stay right there. Because I was reading my notes. Where did it go? See, there's always live TV. On live TV, you just never know what's going to happen, right? All right, so butter. We're not going to forget that because that's needed. I cut up 1 stick of butter. And don't worry, I am going to post this recipe immediately because I already have it all typed out and ready to go. I see, hey, Art, how are you? And Sandy Lou out there? Anybody else you see?
M. Ross.
Anne, hey.
M. Ross.
Oh, M, okay. Oh, that's Micah.
Oh.
I know, that's not Micah, I'm not sure. Anyway, let me keep on going with this.
And
I just put in my butter. I have a cup of water in there, 1 stick of butter, which is 8 tablespoons. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have cinnamon going in, 3/4 cup. I don't want to be going over and over again, but just so that those who are just jumping on now, that actually this is the Disney Parks Churro Bites. You can't go wrong. And because I want to keep it with everyone who's trying to stay healthy, and for those who can't have gluten, these are actually going to be gluten-free. So I'm so excited. All right, so I added all my ingredients to the water, which was butter, salt, and cinnamon. I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to let this come to a rolling boil. I'm going to set this big pot over here. We're going to need it in a second. So the way this recipe goes is that you put all this in. The reason why I was concerned from the one I did was that I used half water and half milk. This one is using plain water, and I thought, oh no, I don't know how this is really going to be. But come on, anyone who knows me knows that when I go to Disneyland, I have to have my churro before I leave. I have one, only one, and I might share a tiny little piece with people, but for the most part, it's for me. So I had to try this one, and I'm glad I did. It tasted just like being at Disneyland. Or when my kids were younger, we had an opportunity, and we got to go out to Disney World. And the churros were just as delicious there as they are here in Disneyland. So, waiting for this water to keep on going. How is everyone doing out there with this COVID-19 social distancing? Are you all social distancing? I hope so. I know I'm trying as much as possible, right? We have to. Hey, Maureen, Lisa, sorry. And, you know, it's tough, but I actually gave a basket, an Easter basket, to both my kids, to the families. So my daughter and my son-in-law got a basket that had ribs in it and asparagus. It had other goodies in there too, of course, from Mama Cheesecake. So what was really cool though is that when my daughter came, she came to pick up hers, her and my son-in-law Rook. They came, we opened up the garage, my sister and I, and we had our mother, we put on our face mask, and we stood out there, and my daughter and I were like ready to come up to each other. We wanted to do a hug, but we knew we couldn't, and we had to step back. That is so difficult. My son, when we dropped off the basket to them, my son and his fiance, we were all like this, air hugs, air hugs. So make sure you're giving lots of air hugs out there, even through social media, right? Hopefully I'm catching people. I'm trying to catch you all as you're jumping in. Great to see you, my friend. Yes, definitely. Diana Martinez, hey, how's it going? And Zumara, listen, you guys, I am just so thrilled to be able to be doing this and share this recipe with you. And what we're going to dip those little churros in. Wait till you see. So yummy. All right, trying to get this to go. So I'm using a really heavy pan that I use. I like to use steel, stainless steel. I don't use aluminum. You can have aluminum in the core, but I need to know that it's not anywhere on the outside. And for me, the reason why I do that is because it's been out there that there's a link to dementia, Alzheimer, with aluminum. So again, this is just me. I'm not saying run out and do it or throw all your pots out. It's how I feel. So I work really hard not to. So all my cookware is stainless steel, as well as things that I use in the oven. I do, if I have to use aluminum, I make sure I have parchment paper between the aluminum and the food. Just what I do. Everybody else is different. So because this is such a heavy pot, it does take a while, so I turned up my heat so we could get that boiling. And meanwhile, I do have my oil over here getting ready. I'm so excited about this. All right, it's starting to go. So it's boiling over, or not boiling over, but boiling up. And that's going to help to get the butter and everything going. And we want a nice rolling, and it's starting, so I'm just going to mix it to kind of hurry this along. So what have you all been doing to stay on the positive side? Is there anything in particular anyone is doing that they want to mention? Hey Liz, amiga, how are you? Mwah! Good to see you. Or see you're typing. Okay, so guess what? We've got this going. If there's something that you all do, shout it out, you know, share. We do jokes. We try to get on our little group messages that we have. I have in several. Okay, so guess what? All you do is let that come to a nice rolling boil, and then you add the flour. The flour I'm using is gluten-free premium. This is the most awesome flour that I have used yet. And you just throw that flour in, and you just start to mix it in together. I think with gluten-free flours, there are a lot of them. I have used several different ones. This is my favorite. Bob's Red Mill is always a good one. King Arthur, that one, all-purpose flour, that's a good one also. So if you have that, that's great. I'm using a wooden spoon, and all you're doing, basically this type of pastry is actually called a choux pastry. Not as in shoe, but that's the French word, is choux. So I'm just mixing it all in, and very quickly it forms a beautiful little ball. Do you see that? Or it comes together. So now we need to let it rest for 5 minutes to cool down. The thing is, when you let it rest in a pot like this that's got a heavy bottom, it's going to take forever to cool down. So what I do is I use a larger bowl. back there. And I'm just gonna, can you guys all see this? And I just scoop out all of that. And I'm gonna move this back here as well. I wanted to show you my little homemade mask for when I go out. Of course it's pink, right? So my good friend Veronica Corona, Boss Babe, she actually put up some funny little thing on Facebook, I think it was. And in there she said, it said something about not only are face masks great for being outside and helping to protect other people in case you're the carrier of it, but she said it's also great to start using in the house so we can stop eating, because let me tell you, it's insane, especially if you're baking a lot of great stuff, right? You want to keep it. So now we're just letting this cool down, and I did one earlier today and it did cool down really well. I did it, did the 5 minutes, and it was perfect inside here. We're going to be adding eggs, 3 eggs to it. So I'm just looking to see.
Marianne joined.
Hey, Marianne, woohoo! How are you? Baby girl's watching. Oh, she made peanut butter cookies. Way to go. Hey, Joyce, haven't seen you or heard from you in a while. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone is doing really well, right? I'm not catching everybody because I'm trying to stay back. Rachel, what do you say? You need to work on that staff. So I have helping me is my sister. Say hi, Anna Marie.
Hi.
She's holding the camera for Instagram, and I'm trying to, there's actually a small little line here, and I'm trying to look right in that one line so it looks like I'm chatting to everybody. Don't know how well that's working. So we've got a couple more minutes to go. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be putting this into a pastry bag, and we're going to be using a star tip. Here's the thing. Someone mentioned to me, actually, my other good friend who's been my director. In fact, last night I was on with Carla, and we were going over. There's Elsa. Hey, Kaz. And my Tia is on there. Hey, Tia. Okay, so the thing is, she said, Marian, if you use the pastry bag and you used your fancy little tip, just remember, everyone at home may not have the fancy tip and a pastry bag. So she goes, can you figure out how they could do this? And I said, absolutely. So that's what I did. So if you use just a Ziploc baggie, the one that I'm going to demo is actually just a sandwich bag. You take that corner, and with Scotch tape, you put it over and over, and then another piece of Scotch tape going this way. It's to help reinforce it. Then you're going to take scissors. Sorry guys, I don't want to cut this. You know how precious? This is another gold item. You cut it, just one slice coming this way and one going this way. So you're going right in and right in. Hopefully you all see that.
Stephanie's on.
A staff, okay, again, slice and slice. And then you open the bag, and now you have another point, and now you're going to cut straight down the center. And guess what? That gives you a star tip. I'll show you when we do the other one. Okay. And then this is my pastry bag. Put my star tip in there. Cut that off. I'm taking this little piece. Here's a little tip, you guys. When you're baking and you do this where you have to cut little pieces off, make sure you throw that away. One time I did that. I gotta tell you, this is true. One time I did that, and it actually ended up in the batter I was making. I was so upset with myself. I had to throw the whole thing away and start over again. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Live and learn, right? Okay, so then you pull it down and make it big enough for your hand to fit in here, because you're going to use your hand to help clean it. And I'll show you when I put that in. Okay, another tip. Eggs. I crack my eggs and put it in a separate bowl. And the reason why I do this, have you ever bit into something that you made and found out there was an eggshell in there? I've done that many times, a long time ago, not now, because I've been doing it where I crack my eggs in a separate bowl, one at a time, look in there, make sure there's nothing else in there, like an eggshell. And there's our timer. We're going to keep on. So what I do is just put it in there, and this way, if an eggshell happens, I can go in and pull it out. And if you use an eggshell, the eggshell and scoop it up with an eggshell, believe it or not, it attracts that little piece of eggshell that's in there. So hopefully that works. Just a little hint. Okay, so I am going to do 1 egg at a time, drop it in there, and mix. And when you first do it, it kind of looks awful. Look, can you guys see that? It looks really strange, but don't worry, keep on mixing and it's gonna get better. Add my second egg in there. And just to let you know on the flour, that was 1 1/4 cup flour that I added. And again, for those of you that aren't or didn't hear earlier, it is actually a gluten-free churro. So gluten-free, isn't that awesome? I love that. Okay, for family members and friends and customers that are gluten-free, I wanted to make sure I was doing something for them. And here's the last egg going in.
Monique said, hurry up, I want it now.
I'm trying. I was gonna do some sort of a contest to try to see who would get these deliciousness, but then it was brought to my attention that I can't do that because I'm not doing these in my kitchen. I still have my multi-million-dollar insurance, but you guys don't know if I'm keeping clean. I am. I mean, that's why the water was running. I wanted you to know that I was washing my hands before. Okay, so now this has come together. It almost looks like, does anyone remember ever making glue? Have you ever done that? I lived outside of the U.S. several times, once in Germany and once in the Azores. And I did have to make my own glue for my kids for different things. And that's what this reminds me of. So that's the pastry. That's the choux pastry. You take your bag, like I said, put your hand around it, scoop it up, drop it right in, and with your hand, you're able to clean it up, the spoon, so you get all the piece in there. Get that in. With this recipe, when you're doing your cup of flour, the same with gluten-free flour as it is. Again, I want to catch all of this goodness, so I'm scraping the bowl a little bit. Make sure you don't pack your flour, because if you pack your flour, this is not going to come out right. You hear people say about packing brown sugar. That's totally different than flour, so you don't want to do that. So then you're going to just tighten it until it comes right to the tip. So it's right at the tip right now. I'm going to hold this, keeping it really tight, and I'm going to use one hand. And then I've got my knife that I used earlier, and I'm going to, let me switch burners. I want to make sure I have it at the same thing. Let's see, anybody new jump in that I need to say hi to?
Squishy pea?
I thought the pastry was kind of thick and liquidy. No, it's not. Actually, it's a nice thick, the choux pastry, it's nice and thick. Hey Greg, how you doing out there?
Squishy pea?
Yeah, I know. Oh, Squishy Pea is on. I'm trying to remember who that is. Okay, sorry.
She said hi.
Okay, hi. All right, so here's the fun part. Now, I should have had a thermometer in here, but actually, when I was getting everything ready, I didn't use the thermometer. So I thought, oh no, I want people to understand how can you know if your oil is ready. So if you get a chopstick, and this was something I just learned, if you get a chopstick and put that chopstick in there and the little bubbles come around it, guess what? Your oil is ready. And I did that earlier today and it worked perfectly. Let's see what Greg say. Oh, thank you. All right, Greg. All right, so again, I'm going to use one hand, press up and top to bring that out. We're going to let that come out and then slice it down and let it drop right in. You can make these as short or as long as you want. And you never want to overfill your oil because then you're going to cool it down too quickly. Make sure sure this is off. Put these down here. I had some from earlier, and they were so delicious. Oh, these are coming out beautiful. Spinning them around. Now, I don't have, and I'm going to have to get for my gluten-free items. When I bake gluten-free, everything is separate. I have a little box here that says gluten-free. Same thing, I make sure, because you just never know. Anything can happen to someone. So what I normally would use is this little thingy. So it's great for catching when you're doing any type of frying, but I use that when I've done regular cooking with gluten, so I can't use that right now. Okay, so spinning that around, because I'm sure my daughter and son-in-law are going to get some of these, and my son-in-law needs to make sure, we want to make sure he doesn't get any gluten, because that will not be good. Okay, they're coming out, they're so beautiful. So I have to use 2 spoons. Look at that. Can you all see that? I'm going to bring it up close there. Close here. Delish. And I'm going to drop it right into my paper towel tray. And then meanwhile, I've got my cinnamon and sugar. I used organic sugar. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I always use organic sugar. I just love it so much better. And where did we move the, oh, here it is. My sister and I had to kind of move things around really fast. So now I'm going to take those and drop them right in here and splash it around. Give it a little bath in the sugar. How amazing is that? So I've got my cinnamon and my sugar in here. Look at how beautiful those are. Can you all see them? Look at that. Gorgeous, right? Drop that down, and then I'm going to show you with my makeshift, these over here. So this is the little Ziploc baggie that I told you all, and I made a star tip. I couldn't use a very tip because of the type of sandwich bag that it was, but I did the same thing. It's got the Scotch tape to help hold the ends. I did a snip, and then one down the center. And guess what? It actually works. So I'm gonna, it's again a little bit different. There's one. So these look a little goofy. I think if you use a larger one, but you know what? Kids would love this. I think they would have a blast with it because it comes out goofy. And I gotta turn my oil down. So we'll spin these around, but they do have, it does have edges. So it's a great way of getting a star tip without actually having a star tip. You can also buy them through Amazon because you know you can't walk into Michael's or any of these other places right now. But Amazon has them. You guys can pick up some. Star tips are always great to have. Greg, they're great, like if you did mashed potatoes and you wanted them to look really fancy, just put it inside a pastry bag with a star tip and put it on there. Looks gorgeous. Okay, so these are getting ready. So they look a little goofy, but it works. I don't know if you can see that it has a little, let me drop it in here. And then I'll get my...
Kenna's on.
Who?
Kenna.
Oh, Kenna. Hey! Kenna and I are talking about doing a tea party, people. That'll be so much fun to do a tea party. And really fun to do. I'll let you all know. And then when we do it, maybe we could get a whole group and we could do it on Zoom. Wouldn't that be fun? I think that would be awesome to do. All right, let me get my sugar. Drop these in. And then you can look at these. They're, like I said, these ones are kind of fun. I think kids would love it. I'm going to move this back, that oil. We'll fry up more later. Because if I make these all, my sister and I are going to feel kind of forced and we're going to have to eat them. And we don't want to do that. Let's see.
Definitely.
It's the baby girl said is looking over the piping kit you gave her. Oh, there is. Tell her there is one in there for her. Who else? We can't see what's going on near the pan. Oh, I'm so sorry. So when it was getting fried up, what I can do is, I can't move mine because it's on a tripod, but my sister's on Instagram. We could have moved that over. I could probably still put a couple pieces in there. So this is how, look at how cute that is. Can you all see that? That's what happens. You can't see it? My sister shook her head no. That is using a homemade star tip bag. Let's see. Greg, is it something? Love this. Okay, yep, get ready for work. We'll get these done, and then I'm going to show you. Of course, everything that I do has to have some sort of connection to Mama Cheesecake, right? So I have my lovely vanilla whipped cheesecake here. Let's see, don't forget to join us for happy hour on Friday. There you go. Okay, that's Sandy Lou. This is my vanilla bean whipped cheesecake.
Back up a little bit.
Gonna be delicious with this. And over here, I'm gonna move this over so you all can see it. I have some special chocolate. Rachel, if you're still on, this is what I was referring to. This reminds me of New York so much. It could be thinner if we're gonna drink it, but this is really gonna be for, I don't know if anyone saw me, I pulled out some cling wrap. So whenever you make anything that's along this line that's thick, this is chocolate. If you do a lemon curd, if you put a film over it like a cling wrap, it's gonna help to keep it from getting a film on it. So this is Italian chocolate. Does that not look so delicious? So here we go, guys, into the chocolate. Oh, Now, I added a touch of cinnamon to my chocolate, so it tastes really delish. All right, that was really good. See what I mean? I need the face mask. Now, into my whipped cheesecake. Oh my God, this is so good, guys. That vanilla bean cheesecake dipped into this is the best. All right. So that was it. So again, did the Disney Parks Churro Bites. Hope you all enjoyed. Just want to end with a couple of things. Remember, when you're out there and you're ordering, there's a lot of small business out there that are hurting. When you're looking for things to purchase, go to the small markets. They really need our help. All the markets. The restaurants, go to the small restaurants. If you're, I'm trying to think of some really quick. If you're out in anywhere near Huntington Beach, there is Camblacha. If you're in Laguna, go to Villa Roma. My friends Leo, Chef Leo, and Teresa Lasso, you guys, they are doing everything they can, and they're still helping their community, which blows my mind that they're able to do this. Order from them. Get takeout. Everything is takeout, but you know, they'll even bring it out to your car. In Montebello, you could go to Canela Bakery. That's my bakery. That's where I get to go bake at. But right now, while this is all going on, I can't bake there because of my mom, who's 95. She'll be 96 next month. And so I got to figure out what we're going to do. And so she's doing everything she can, and they're being really good. They got their gloves on. They've got their masks. They put up the plexiglass. They're doing everything, and they're following every step that needs to be done. So if you want some great pan dulces, some Mexican bread, or any of their meals, their food is fabulous. Menudo, think of something. What do we like? Chili verde. Their chili verde is delicious. Go call them up. They can have it ready for you to come pick it up, and out the door you go.
Tamales.
Yes, their tamales are delicious also. It's like everything they make there is great. If you're here in Whittier, I know another a lot of them are small business, but I know Greenleaf Thai, right on Greenleaf here in Whittier. They're actually family owned also. Just like Teresa and Leo, family owned. Maria and Canela, their bakery, that's family owned. We need to support people like this. So you guys go out there and do that. In interim, make sure you're having fun, do different things. The other day, I forgot what had happened, and my sister called me, and another sister, and she said, "Oh, it's been so frustrating." I said, "I know, we need to dance it out." So we got on, and we danced for not very long, but we danced, and it was a ton of fun. So I'm just stressing to all of you, dance it out, have some fun. Before you know it, this will be over. And just think of the good side of things, right? Have you noticed how clear it is outside? It is amazing outside. You can see so far. It is just so gorgeous. Water looks cleaner. It's just so many things. So anyway, let me see if I can catch anything. San Diego. Oh yeah, Albert's in San Diego. That's our cousin. I didn't catch that. Hey, Carla, you made it on. My director. She's the one who made sure that the camera was set up in the right spot. Anyone else over there, Anna Marie? Any questions popped up? All right, listen. We were able to do this quick. I did that in 30 minutes. Okay, so again, stay safe out there. Social distancing is so important. So guys, make sure you're keeping to 6 feet apart from each other. Washing those hands. If you have to go out, make sure you're wearing gloves. If you're going into a store, wear your face mask. Do whatever you need to do to stay safe. I know my brother, when he goes out to go shopping, and I do the same thing, you take your shoes off before you come in the house. So I wear the same shoes out. And when I come back in, I take a cloth, or not a cloth, but for sanitizer, I keep close by. I use 7th generation. And I wipe the top of my shoe as well as underneath. The jacket that I wear, I cover myself up. That gets folded and put down. After 2 times of wearing it out, I throw it in the wash. So it just, little tips, little things that we're all doing, I'm sure. Make sure you share it with everybody else. Love you all. I just saw something. Hey, Veronica, boss babe, you missed it. I mentioned you earlier. And by the way, these churros, you can make other adjustments besides making them gluten-free. They could be dairy-free also, believe it or not, which would be awesome, right?
Jamaica's on.
Hey, Jamaica, how are you doing? This, again, these were just so wonderful. I know we're going to have a ton of fun eating these luscious little churro bites made from Disneyland.
Lord.
Gotta have them. Did some... Now, if you want the chocolate recipe, I could go ahead and put the chocolate recipe in. If you want to drink this chocolate, you can actually add some more milk to it and thin it out some more. Because when we were in New York, oh my God, that was so delicious. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, Anna Marie, any thoughts, any questions? Okay, awesome. Then we'll see you all later. And thank you for stopping in. I'll be back on next Wednesday. If you have a suggestion or if there's something you want, let me know. I may do another gluten-free item next Wednesday, maybe vegan. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just let me know. Thank you. Mwah. Have a good one, guys. Did you end it? Press.
I don't know where.
Okay. Hold on. Hello, everybody. We're trying to figure this out on Instagram. How come the last time we got it off?
Yeah, last time it showed.
Oh, right here. That's why. End.